Every entrepreneur has a different story about why he or she decided to start a business. Most business owners will agree on one thing, that being an entrepreneur is great. You call the shots and make the decisions that ultimately determine the success or failure of your business. Great entrepreneurs bring their ideas to life. They become a part of a culture that is like a big family and plays a major role in your success. Every other day, a new startup emerges from the ocean of the opportunities with an aim to make it up to the list of the startup success stories. I proudly welcome all of you for this session, Be an Entrepreneur. I would like to request Dr. Mohit Dubey sir, CEO, Atal Incubation Center, MIT ADT University, to take over the session ahead.
Namaskar. It becomes very difficult to start the session after the celebrity session. But you know what is common between a Bollywood and entrepreneurship? Both of them have a 90%, more than 90% failure rate. The number of startups that a Bollywood does and the number of successes that happen across the year is in single digits. Similarly, in an entrepreneurial world, the percentage of successful startups is less than 10%. So hopefully, we'll try to learn from some of the mistakes, some of the journeys, continuing from the earlier session, क्योंकि ये नहीं समझ में आ रहा था कि पिछला वाला सेशन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के ऊपर है कि सेलिब्रिटीज के ऊपर है. ज़्यादातर स्टोरीज जो सुनी गई वो अपने आप में काफ़ी इंस्पिरेशनल थी, काफ़ी इंस्पायरिंग थी. सो उसी कड़ी में अगर आप देखें कि एंटरप्रेन्योर की जो जर्नी होती है वह एक सपनों की उड़ान होती है. सपनों को जो देखते हैं और उन सपनों को पूरा करने का मादा रखते हैं, उन सपनों को पूरा करने के लिए सबसे ज़्यादा त्याग करने के लिए तैयार होते हैं. उस टीम को बिल्ड करते हैं जो उनके सपनों में विश्वास करे और उस मंजिल तक पहुंचने में उनकी मदद करे और उस समाज की बेहतरी के लिए काम करे. अगर इस सबको एक नटशेल में बात की जाए तो एंटरप्रेन्योर उन सपनों का सौदागर है जो उन सपनों को पूरा करने की कोशिश करता है जिससे कि समाज का भला होता है. इन अ नटशेल तो लाइनें याद आती हैं सपनों के ऊपर कि मंजिलें उनको मिलती हैं जिनके सपनों में जान होती है. मंजिलें उनको मिलती है जिनके सपनों में जान होती है. दोस्तों, पंखों से क्या होता है? हौसलों से उड़ान होती है. मैं समझता हूं कि समझ में आया तो तालियां, और जिसको समझ में नहीं आया अपनी कृपया समझ बढ़ाएं. धन्यवाद. थैंक यू. वैसे ही कुछ सपनों के सौदागर आज हमारे बीच में उपस्थित हैं, क्योंकि यह सेशन सेलिब्रिटीज़ का जो था उसमें ज़्यादातर महिलाएं थीं. सलाम है प्रोफेसर मिलिंद डोबले साहब का, जिन्होंने इस महिला सशक्तिकरण को अकेले संभाला और उसका उत्तरदायित्व निभाया. कोशिश की जाएगी कि वैसे ही एक सेलिब्रिटी उस महिला शक्ति को बढ़ावा देते हुए मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहूँगा डॉक्टर वर्षा को हमारे बीच में. प्लीज़ डॉक्टर वर्षा. जब तक वर्षा जी यहाँ आती हैं, कैन आई रिक्वेस्ट द AV ऑफ डॉक्टर वर्षा टू बी प्लेड ऑन द स्क्रीन.
Dr. Varsha Narayanan is an MBBS, gold medalist and LG Trophy recipient from Maulana Azad Medical College, Delhi. She is further qualified in holistic health from Apollo Hospital, Hyderabad, and clinical research from Institute of Clinical Research, Mumbai. She also holds an MS in ophthalmology. She is a health and pharmaceutical consultant based in Mumbai. She has more than 15 years of experience in community health and pharmaceutical research and has been heading the medical affairs verticals for reputed Indian pharmaceuticals. She has done acclaimed work in various therapy areas like respiratory medicine, dermatology, gastroenterology, women's health, eye care, pain management and bone health through real-world data generation, comparative clinical studies, developing treatment consensus, and reviewing pharmacotherapies. She is a speaker at health forums with a number of publications in peer-reviewed journals and visiting faculty for pharmaceutical medicine at KEM MUHS, Mumbai. We are excited to have you at Persona Fest.
थैंक यू वर्षा जी। इसके बाद महिला शक्ति के बाद जब सेलिब्रिटीज़ की बात हो रही थी तो मीडिया फील्ड से, मीडिया जगत से हमारे बीच एक व्यक्तित्व उपस्थित हैं। प्लीज़ वेलकम मिस्टर यशुदास यस ऑन द स्टेज प्लीज़। कैन वी हैव हिज AV प्लीज़?
Mr. S. Yesudas is the co-founder of Y&A Transformation, Snippet Digital and Trigger Bridge. He began his career as a trainee at Da Kunha Associates to reach the position of MD and CEO and a board member in just 12 years through passion, consistency and result-oriented approach. He has a clear track record of building profitable businesses, both existing companies as well as startups. Most of his clients turned into ambassadors and created a talent pool. Most managers who worked with him in the past are in leadership positions today in various agencies. He has many firsts to his credit, including the first ever media consultation outfit in India, Media Futures from Lintas Group, and first ever shopper marketing initiative in 2002 in East Africa with the supermarket chain Nukumat. He led India's first ever team to represent media at Cannes under Media Young Lions. Agencies under his leadership won many national and international awards for their work on various brands. He has written and published many articles and is often quoted in media. He is also an avid cyclist and marathon runner. We are glad to have you at Persona Fest.
ऑलराइट, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में बहुत से लोग जो है धंधा बनाने की बात करते हैं, लेकिन समस्या यह है कि वह धंधा या जो प्रोडक्ट या सर्विस आपने बनाई है उसे खरीदेगा कौन। तो उस सेल्स के क्षेत्र से आते हैं हमारे नेक्स्ट स्पीकर। पुट योर हैंड्स टुगेदर फॉर मिस्टर दीपू कौल फ्रॉम मैक्स लाइफ। हिंदुस्तान को दुनिया के नक्शे पर रखने वाली रिलायंस, और उस रिलायंस में भी रिलायंस जियो इन्फोकॉम, जिस कंपनी ने बात करने का तरीका बदल दिया, जिसने इस देश में जो बात करने के लिए पैसा लगता है वह विश्व में सबसे कम कर दिया, वैसे ही कंपनी से हमारे नेक्स्ट स्पीकर हैं मिस्टर उमेश। प्लीज वेलकम। नाउ ऑल दीज leaders, all these dreamers that you have seen come from the place called the land of possibilities. Amongst us, we also have one of the youngest entrepreneur who's only 74 years old, and he comes from the land of opportunities, which is the United States of America. It's the world's largest ecosystem for startups. And we are very fortunate to have amongst us Professor Bob Naismith. Please welcome. Can we have his AV, please?
Dr. Robert Naismith currently serves as chairman of Mentor Insight, a company that provides business insight to emerging and early stage businesses. He is a serial entrepreneur who during his career founded several biopharmaceutical companies including Pharmacon Research International Incorporation, Biofor Incorporation and Life Sciences Analytics, all of which he successfully sold. He also serves as chairman of Jajama Incorporation and Hyderabad-based Jajama Solutions Private Limited. Previously, he worked in the financial markets as chairman of the Microcap Fund, managing director at Bluestone Capital Partners, which led to the founding of Imed Securities. Dr. Naismith has served on numerous boards and currently holds board seats at People's Security Bank and Trust, the Life Sciences Greenhouse, and several advisory boards. He is a founder and served as chairman of the board of the Commonwealth Medical College, a fully accredited allopathic medical school. He has held several adjunct professorships at Case Western Reserve University, the Pennsylvania State University, and the University of Scranton. He currently serves as Professor of Clinical Sciences at the Giesener Commonwealth School of Medicine. Dr. Naismith has received numerous awards and citations, but is most proud of his service to Queen Mary's William Harvey Institute, founded by the late Nobel laureate Sir John Vane, where he received the Vane Medal. Dr. Naismith holds a PhD in genetics from the Pennsylvania State University. We are glad to have you at the Persona Fest.
Thank you, Bob, for coming here and gracing this occasion. We are truly indebted for your presence, and we look forward to some of the pulse of wisdom from your side. Thank you. All right, so we started with a women celebrity. It's high time again to end the list of our speakers with another lady luck of this country, a truly young entrepreneur, Ms. Megha Vora, Group CEO of Talentserve from Mumbai. Please welcome. All right, so it's going to be a T10 match, not even a T20. Because I think we have a very hard stop in another 30 minutes. So we'll try to get through all the speakers and get some viewpoints which are applicable for all the young entrepreneurial community out here. So let me, my heart really goes out for all the people who have lost their lives in coronavirus in China. And it's very sad to see people losing lives. When we have the world's largest countries putting together their resources to figure out what should be the solution. And essentially going back to the solution part, it's all about team building. It's all about getting the right people together to work towards the common goal of solving a problem. I would like to get some views from Professor Bob, because he has been a serial entrepreneur in US, and now he has set up a company in India. And I was excited to hear him yesterday when he said that he was able to ramp up his team of Indian scientists up to 2,000 in a very short span of time. I would like to hear your views on how do you give an importance to the team building and the speed with which you're supposed to build those teams to address those problems like we are seeing in the world today.
Well, thank you very much, Mohit. First of all, I apologize for my American English, but I just heard a lot of Marathi and a lot of Hindi, and so I don't feel too bad about that. And I also, now that you realize my age, I have to thank Mohit for announcing that. You know, it's a funny thing, even at my advanced age compared to the young people in this audience, once you become an entrepreneur, it never quits. In fact, I'm here in India, not only to visit my own company, my daughter's company, but just this morning I had a meeting where we're talking about starting a new company here in India that's an offshoot of an American company. So, you know, the desire to do that doesn't go away. You know, and what kind of a person becomes an entrepreneur? And I'll talk about ramping up and so forth in people. And let me put that to rest immediately. The most important thing any company has is its people. Absolutely, that is the wellspring of success, and without that, you can't succeed. One of the things I've always tried to do is I've tried to hire people that were smarter than myself so that I could always be replaced. And that has paid great dividends because invariably founding companies is not necessarily something that happens overnight. It's hard work and perseverance. And when you have the right people in the right places, they help you, if you will, expand that vision very quickly. So people are the most important thing. And I always felt that I wanted to be known for paying too much instead of paying too little. I think, you know, you're rewarded for how you treat your people. And that comes back. It produces loyalty, hard work, compassion, and commitment to the vision of the company. And I think that that's very key. So that's something about people. With respect to who becomes an entrepreneur, it's either in you or it's not in you. Why would you be how do you become an entrepreneur? That's very simple. If you've paid your brother or your sister to make your bed or to do the dishes, you're an entrepreneur. You've already hired someone to use their labor to benefit your vision. And so it begins very early in life. But again, that is something that is internal, and it's something that is self-driven. So energy, drive, and hard work are key elements of entrepreneurship.
Perfect. I think, as you rightly pointed out, the journey of entrepreneurship is not a destination by itself. It's the fun of journey, going through that whole process of building the venture. That's primarily important. On that note of building the ventures right from scratch, I would like to draw upon the experience of Mr. Umesh, who has been with Reliance Jio in the state of Maharashtra right when it started here. How do you build the organization which is going to change the world?
Okay, thanks. First of all, let me tell you, I've been in this field of sales, marketing, business for last more than 25, 26 years. And out of that, 16 years has been in telecom. But in my last 25, 26 years of journey, actually, when I learned what entrepreneurship means, while we speak about it, we learn about it, you know, there are like subjects, is when I joined Jio. When I joined Jio, it was nothing. It was just a project. I still remember when we were deploying the network across the geographies. During our reviews, our chairman used to tell us, build a network which will get 100 million customers in 100 days. And honestly speaking, when I used to listen to that, I never had a clue. How do you get 100 million customers in 100 days, a million a day? And when the entire India did not have an ecosystem of 4G. There were no handsets. There was nothing which was actually available where you can calculate and project and make a plan which says 100 million is possible. So in my mind, I used to always think, he's crazy. But as the days pass, what we learn first is have a vision which is not been seen by anyone else. Opportunity which everyone is scrapped. People believe that isme koi dam nahi hai. Do what everyone else is doing. Do what is proven. Do where success is guaranteed. And invariably, when you follow that path, what happens is you are one of so many, and there is no guarantee of your success or your, being the leader in that particular field. So that is something which was imbibed in our minds. Second most important thing which I learned and actually we implemented, create a team which is not just working for 9 to 5 job. Create a team which is passionate, which believes that it's possible. Second, they have an attitude of making impossible things work and go do everything possible which everyone else is saying no. So that was second lesson. When you build a team, you should have people around which share your passion, your thought, and an organization's vision. If all those things come together, then there is no looking back. Third most important thing which I learned when I started with Reliance Jio, that don't believe that your efforts will give you success in first 6 months, 1 month, because something new you are bringing in, people will fall for it. It's a different thing that, Reliance Jio had a massive success from day one. But if you are coming with even brilliant or most, fabulous idea, you should give a time of nothing less than 10 years. Your success will start only after 3 or 4 years of, your practice. If I actually look back, more than 200,000 lakhs of investment done in first 3 years, then we are talking about how you provide the network to the millions, how you make the data affordable, how you reach to the last person, even in the village, and how you make people adopt and make best use of it. So when we say data revolution is brought by Jio, is basically nothing but making millions of people connected to the world digitally. So these are very critical and important learning which I had after 16 years of my career in different companies. For the first time, I understood the meaning of entrepreneurship.
Fantastic. उमेश जी, जैसा आपने बताया कि सपने देखने की आदत होनी चाहिए और सपने भी बड़े देखने चाहिए। वैसा सपना जिसमें कि एक दिन में 10 लाख लोग उस नेटवर्क पे आ जाए। एक दिन में 10 लाख इस देश में ही संभव है, किसी और देश में संभव नहीं है। भारत देश में सपने बड़े देखने का समय है, क्योंकि जो सपने बड़े देखेंगे वही सपने बड़े पूरे भी करेंगे। उसी हिसाब की तैयारी भी करनी पड़ेगी। छोटे सपने देखने से छोटी समस्या सॉल्व होती हैं, बड़ी समस्या कभी सॉल्व नहीं होगी।
Just to add, sir, that vision or that dream of 100 million customers in 100 days, we actually did 100 million customers in 170 days.
वो बड़े सपने देखने में यही है कि अगर 5 दिन उधर होता है तो लोग कहते हैं सपना गलत था। Moving to Yeshudas ji, I think when you dream, you need to follow a certain process. How do you start taking that dream further? I would like to draw upon Yeshudas ji's experience of building first an agency and then building a company which is supporting a lot of businesses with a lot of insights. So Yeshudas ji, what is that recipe, that mixture that builds a long-run marathon runner, which I know you are, the endurance that is required to build those organizations which are going to be built for generations and not for an exit?
Thank you. To say the least, my journey of 3 years of entrepreneurship has been a complete roller coaster, an interesting roller coaster, because as you rightly said, I first built agencies, then I got out at the age of 46 to build the unagency, which is challenging the agencies. So when I looked at the space that agencies operate, one of the things that I've actually personally noticed is that, there is a huge focus that brands and agencies have in acquiring customers based on a theoretical philosophy called LTV, which is lifetime value of customers. You acquire customers and you completely forget about them. There is no investment that's made in the funnel that I call the retention funnel. As a result of which, what really happens is there's a huge churn of customers that happens. You acquire 10, 8 of them go out, then you spend double the amount of money to acquire 10 new more. So I said, this model is not going to be a lasting model because clients are going to shut the tap at some point in time. There has to be a focus for us to actually look at the other funnel, which is the funnel of retention. So the unagency took birth during that time when we said that, how are we going to help clients market for customers instead of marketing to customers? So that essentially was the beginning of the unagency. It was, obviously, we were launching in the middle of an area infested with agencies, the large agencies, right? I mean, We had no locus standi. We would actually go and knock on doors of clients with our briefcase, etc. Clients say, who are you? I mean, we have got agencies working on this, that, etc., etc. And it took a little while of time. But one of the things that actually really changed our game is in our talent acquisition. So what we actually did is that when the large agencies went to the B schools and picked up the cream, was scoring high and, debating well, etc., we said we'll actually go and pick up the second rung. We'll actually, we call ourselves signal spotters instead of the trend spotters. We said a signal that emerges in a group discussion among people who probably are not able to really articulate well, but we see an opportunity in the guy, let's pick this guy up. So we call these people the non-conformists, the dissenters and the rebels. So we said, okay, let's collect a team of the non-conformists and train them really well for them to really go and challenge the market in a very different way and build the passion in them, because these are not people who will get picked up by the Tatas and Birlas and Ambanis. So if you're able to build the passion in them, they are obviously going to challenge those people who are working in Birlas and Tatas and Ambanis. So what essentially happened for us, in a matter of about 8 months to our existence, we were called in by one of the largest clients in India to audit one of the largest agencies. That's a big success that came our way. We said that there is a lot of merit in what you guys are saying. We don't know whether our agency is doing that or not. Can you audit them? So that obviously became our first, breakthrough and a benchmark. Today, when I look at my team, they're a young bunch of guys. Yesterday we were with a client, a garment client, and they had a challenge of not getting the millennials as designers into the company because the designers in the company are, little on the older side. So the suggestion that came from the agency was that, let's go and look at advertising Instagram now, because all the millennials are on Instagram. Let's go and do something totally different. So these guys sitting in the bunch, my guys, are saying that, wait. Let's look at the insight on the millennials. He said, I am a millennial. 3 of them got up and said, we are millennials. Not me, I wish I was. We are millennials. One of the feedback, when we are driven by this whole feedback mechanism, which essentially means that when we put something on Instagram, we're waiting with our phone as to how many people are telling us yes, no, like, dislike, etc. And you hire us and you put us in a corner of office and you give us the feedback once a year. That doesn't really work for us. So that's great. Let's now go and transform the HR system. So that actually becomes another way of transforming. So instead of just going and saying that, okay, let's go to Instagram to talk about and advertise, so we look at a different way of transformation. The other day I heard somebody in the office saying that, airlines, why should an airline be a competition to another airline? Why can't video conferencing be a competition? Because if people video conference, they won't take a flight and go. So these are interesting things that's actually emerging. And one of the things that I've seen is that if you really make people, give the people the right ownership and really train them well in a thinking, and you as a founder is extremely passionate about that, and that's exactly what you're breathing day in and day out, the team picks that up and they're really going to deliver results, which is absolutely fabulous. And I would actually say that it's been almost 3 years now. We work with some of the largest clients. Agencies look at us and say that, what the hell these guys are doing, and they're disrupting our business. But we believe that we're on a good path.
Thank you. I think you truly demonstrate that change is the only constant in life. And you should not shy away from pivoting your business model. When you can pivot your life at 74, when you can pivot your life at 46. I think this younger generation which actually gets scared when I ask them to pivot in their prototyping stage, I'm like, boss, come on, go ahead and change it. If you think the world needs this solution, go ahead and pivot. So here are these examples who have pivoted their life, not just the businesses that they have built. Talking about the health that we were talking about earlier, the coronavirus element, there's a huge deficit of the doctors in the country, in India. We are 1.3 billion people. So the challenge naturally comes up. How do you serve these human beings who are looking for some health advice, even as simple as very, very elementary? Because there are people who are at very, very far off places. They don't have an access to the network of hospitals or clinics or doctors. So I I would like to draw Dr. Varsha into this because she is working on a health tech startup, which is kind of providing a platform to connect the doctors with the right patients. How do you see that technology playing that role of bridging that gap between the real people out there and the patients with the doctor's advice from an online perspective?
Good evening, everybody. Can I hear you, please? Can I hear a yay or something that I know you guys are with us? Okay, that's nice. Thank you for having me. I think there are very illustrious people on the stage, and I want to tell you I'm a very recent entrepreneur. I have been doing a very stable, so-called, they called it a stable job. Aapke parents bhi bolte hoge, ek stable job le lo. So I've been doing that for almost 15 years. But last few months, I'd say about 9-10 months maybe, that I've embarked upon this venture. And before I tell you about it, what I wanted to say is that entrepreneurship is actually not about success, but it's about creating value. This is what the great Einstein said, and this is one of the quotes which really changed my thinking. Because often people become entrepreneurs कि चलो जॉब नहीं करनी, बॉस खराब है, या मुझे 9 to 5 का रट पसंद नहीं है, या I just want to follow a dream, और ये बहुत इन है आजकल तो मैं भी क्यों ना कर लूँ, let me get into something which is really the toast of the season. But what you really, all of you need to know is, are you creating a difference in someone's life? I think that is the basis of being an entrepreneur. आपने एक भी इंसान की लाइफ में डिफरेंस क्रिएट किया तो आप एक सक्सेसफुल एंटरप्रेन्योर हैं. For me, that is the definition of a successful entrepreneur. So when I was, during my medical practice, I've been a practicing physician for many, many years. What I have noticed from patients is that they want access to information which they can trust. And thanks to the internet penetration today, I think everybody has access to information. Everybody is a doctor. In fact, I've had people coming to me and giving me medical advice. कि हमने Google में ये पढ़ा था, ऐसा होना चाहिए. So I always ask them कि what was the authenticity of what you read? Was it from a hospital, from a doctor, or was it published in a journal? नहीं, ऐसे ही लिखा था कहीं पे, या मुझे WhatsApp आया था. And over the years, I started realizing that this is one huge gap which needs to be addressed. Firstly, people don't know what is authentic medical information, and they need it so badly. Because for everything, you cannot go to a doctor. You want some preliminary knowledge. Is this disease dangerous? Or can I find a remedy at my home level? Do I really have to go to a doctor? Or can I just go to the chemist and pick up 2-3 medicines and solve the problem? Or what kind of a doctor should I go to? वो भी नहीं मालूम. Whether it should be a physician or a specialist, should I go to a clinic, should I go to a hospital? Should I first get a lab test done or do it later? There are so many questions a person has for himself, for his family, somebody in the family having an illness. And I found there was really no one place where somebody could go and get all this information. There was loads of information available, but it was not integrating into answering what the people wanted to know. So that is where I got this idea that some platform needs to be created where if anybody goes online, he knows this information is coming from a doctor, from a face of a doctor to it. He knows that. It's like his online family physician whom he can approach, seek guidance. It could be confidential. He can access a whole lot of information which is also there in the public domain. That person can link him on to the right doctor, get other experts. So an interactive, credible access to health information is something that I envisioned is a need, is a value creation I could do. And also I found that there is a lot of gap between just prescription and therapy. When we say therapy, it's a lifestyle. It involves what you eat, starts from how you live your day from morning to evening. So it has to go beyond the prescription. And that's what I had in mind, that we have to bring a holistic management to the common person. He has to know how for every disease you can have a holistic approach. So behind this thought process is how I started this journey. And I would say that it's been a very short journey so far. But I have touched upon some 50,000 lives. I know it's a very small number in a few months, but I see it growing every day. And there have been loads of glitches and problems in this short journey. But what gives me the strength to go on is that I'm creating a difference in somebody's life. Somebody is facing more convenience, is having a better access to health, is having better access to wellness. I'm improving the life of someone. So that should be at the core of your entrepreneurship vision.
Cool, thank you. I think Dr. Varsha, can we hear it for Dr. Varsha, please? I think Dr. Varsha जी का एक डिस्क्लेमर ज़रूर होगा उस ऑनलाइन ऑथेंटिक वेबसाइट में कि ऑनलाइन अपने आप जितना गूगल करें, जितना ऑनलाइन पे जाएं, खांसी जुकाम बुखार तक ठीक है, सर्जरी गूगल देख करके मत करें. So talking about the authenticity, you need to know how much information you should be looking up on the internet, and there is a reason why there are doctors. So please do talk to the doctors if it's a surgery case. Also, the other element that I liked about Dr. Varsha is that she is a doctor first, and then she's thinking about scaling it up with leveraging the technology element of it. A lot of people who come to us, and then, I talk to people and they say, we are trying to do an agri-tech, and they are the technology people. मैंने कहा पहले ये बताओ आलू उगता कहाँ पर है, नीचे उगता है जमीन के कि ऊपर उगता है. So the point is, if people who are dealing in that area for time, for ages, who understand the core of that area, then they need to take up the technology to expand it, to make the reach out to lot many people, rather than putting a cart before the horse. You need to first build that core competency of yours, and then use the technology for improving the productivity and scalability part of it. So I think that's a very important element that you brought up, Dr. Varsha. Let me tell you, I love the best business of insurance, where you actually go to a person and try to sell him that, boss, अगर तुम मर जाओगे तो उसका पैसा भी दे तो बाद में तुमको पैसा दूंगा. अगर तुम कल को मरने वाले हो तो तुम्हारे बच्चों को पैसा मिलेगा. ऐसा बिजनेस करना और ऐसा प्रोडक्ट बेचना जहां पर कि वो कस्टमर जीते जी कुछ नहीं पाएगा, लेकिन मरने के बाद उसके डिपेंडेंट्स को पैसा मिलेगा. उस तरीके के बिजनेस से आने वाले दीपू कौल जी, आई वुड लाइक टू ड्रॉ अपॉन योर experience. How do you make this happen? The products that the customer is never going to see the benefits of it. How do you, make inroads with those kind of sales pitch? What's the mantra for that?
Thank you. See, the first thing for last 2 hours that I'm seeing here is that we are speaking about aspirations, we are speaking about success, about dreams. I think we are the people who are going to protect everyone against anything that happens in life. Especially, I will quote here 2 things. One, when I am dreaming something, it is not for me. It is for a family. It is for some family members. And maybe, like there are many people who have set up their own business. So we are providing solutions which can make the business stable. Now, insurance for last more than 70 years, 100 years, it has been into a different, the clients are into a different mindset. But for last around 10, 20 years time, there has been many changes. So let me quote few of the changes. Like before 20 years, so there were very few things which were on loans. We used to get maybe housing loan, maybe some other few loans. But today, we get loan for each and everything. We get loan to buy a mobile. We get loan to buy a mobile cover. We get loan to buy clothes online, everything. So the availability of everything has become so easy that every person is increasing the liability. He is spending more. So in these scenarios, what basically we do, we basically guide the people that if you are spending so much, if something happens to you because of health reason, maybe because of some other eventuality, in that case, how the family is going to survive. And as we say, I can ask anybody, what's your date of birth? But we don't know our date of death. So after me, for how long the family is going to survive, we don't know. So in our product, in our type of sales, what basically we do, we first gain the trust of the customer to have a proper discussion. Second step is that we understand the need of the customer. Because a 30-year-old will have a different need, a 40-year-old will have a different need, a 50-year-old will have a different need. So we address the needs accordingly, whether he need an insurance, whether he need a saving, whether he need a tax planning, or whether he need to protect the business. So accordingly, after creating the need, we propose a solution to the customer. And I think I am into a business where we are into some social service, where we are helping people become entrepreneurs, because I have worked in last 15 years with more than 1,500 people who all are into business only. So we are the coaches for them, how to do the business and how they can increase their income. So we are playing multiple roles. We are coaches also, we make entrepreneurs also, and we are doing some very good social service also. So this is current times the awareness has increased. I think this is something which is, this market for next 10 years is going to be like the banking was like in last 10 years time. So now the people accept the fact, and today the scenario has changed a lot.
Very good. Thank you, Deepuji. I think the reason why I asked that tough question was because you need that storytelling art of Deepuji to make sure that you succeed in your businesses. You need to build a story around what you're trying to sell. Even if it's difficult, you need to build that story so that people believe in what you are trying to do and connect the impact, as he rightly pointed out. You know, they are trying to create the entrepreneurs through their impact. So if you can build that story around, get the people into your what you're trying to do with a larger social cause, I think the storytelling works. There's another element that you touched upon, Deepuji. सब कुछ मिलता है, सब कुछ आसान है यहाँ मिलना. But typically, for folks who have been into the corporate world for at least more than a decade, सबसे बड़ा मुश्किल काम है सही आदमी मिलना. घुमा फिरा के हम लोग की एक ही समस्या होती थी, यार काम का आदमी है क्या? Because when the clients ask, do you have the right skill set? Do you have the right people? So everything boils down to the right people. And fortunately, the last decade, the kind of skills that have driven the building of human manpower in the last decade is going to vanish completely. The degrees are losing their values faster than we all assume and we think. So how do you do the building part of skills and the talent part of it so that they can start thinking about the future, whether they are going to be relevant in the next decade, in the next few years? How do they stay relevant as far as the own skills are concerned and the talent building is concerned?
Thank you so much for this question. Yes, talent is very, very important to build a business to the next level. We say that we have a vision, but ideally the company has been built on the basis of employees only. We can't build a business just that only one or two person. Every person plays an important role in the building of the company, be it a housekeeping, be it a junior executive, be it a finance, be it a sales, be it HR, be it operations. Everybody is there to help that all together. And IT plays also, nowadays IT is booming, yeah. Everything is coming into an IT, technology, AI, machine learning, deep learning. We are hearing these stories and we are hearing this ad from a long time. So yes, engineering has a good scope in near future, yeah. And we are looking for a people wherein we manage the things accordingly and we take the things to the next level. However, AI is there. AI has a future. Engineering has a future. We are not denying the fact. But human potential is not going to be replaced by AI, any which ways. So we take the initiative to build the people to the next level. We take the people, we take the attention on the people, whether they have a goal, whether they have a right approach or not, whether that can be fit for a finance, sales, marketing, what sort of people are there. Because every person sitting over there or here, everybody has a different potential. And we are here to judge that potential between the person, that which person would be suitable for which department. So we play a huge role in terms of HR. We work 24/7 and we get the things all together. We have seen the days wherein we were working from 9 a.m. in the morning till 12 o'clock in the night just to make sure that we should have a building about the people in the company. That's how the role was, because we were getting the projects accordingly. Now, if I talk about the education and the HR thing, there is still a gap. We are trying to pull the gap to the next level, wherein we can minimize it. And I'm just one part wherein I'm trying to make the impact so that impact can be minimized a lot. So we are here to do that. And that's how we do. Our team is doing that effort to get all people to be successful.
Perfect, thank you. I think you touched upon a very interesting point. While we have to look for building the capabilities in artificial intelligence, we also need to focus on the human intelligence. We need to ensure that the human intelligence is not getting lost. While we think and we assume that the machine should be learning, we also need to make sure that the kids are also learning, not only the machines. While we also need to look upon being on the Facebook every time, we also need to see we meet face to face. The digital intervention in our lives are doing bad, more bad than the more good. So I think the culmination of these elements for an entrepreneurial world, we started with the building of the teams, the talent building, how do you get together the teams to focus on the vision of the founder. We heard Mr. Umeshji about the Bada Socho. One day, 10 lakh people, it's a big. That can only happen in this Hindustan, Bharat. We also heard Yeshudas ji about his journey and the pivot that he did at around 46 years of age. So there is no age to pivot. We also heard from Dr. Varsha about how she is trying to get the authentic information out there in the public market, with the caveat that you only need to know what you need to know online and depend upon the offline more often than, especially in the medical field. We also would like to thank Mr. Deepu Kaul for building the story around it and making sure that the entrepreneurs carve out the story around their products and services, which is helpful for the society, and the impact that your products and services create to bind the society so that we all can come together and the community can rise together. Due to the paucity of time, I would have to stop here. And I got reminded of few things because all of them have faced a lot of challenges. So I just got reminded of a two-liner कि मंजिलें मिलेंगी भटक कर ही सही. सभी लोगों ने बहुत भटका हुआ है and everybody has achieved some or the other aim in the life. So मंजिलें मिलेंगी भटक कर ही सही, गुमराह तो वो हैं जो घर से निकले ही नहीं. लगता है समझ बढ़ गई है, समझ में आया है. धन्यवाद. Once again, I would like to thank all my esteemed co-panelists for spending their time here and enlightening the audience and the young generation to take up entrepreneurship as a career choice and accept the failures in their lifetime as the milestone and enjoy the journey of building their ventures. Thank you once again for all of you for coming to MIT ADT and gracing this occasion.
Thank you, Dr. Mohit Dubey, sir.
I would now request Pawar Saab to take care of the felicitation part of it.
Yes.
Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Mohit Dubey, sir, CEO, Atal Incubation Center, MIT ADT University, for hosting this wonderful event. Now, I would like to call Professor Dr. Kishore Rawande, sir, Principal, MIT School of Engineering, and Honorable Professor Mrs. Sunita Karad, ma'am, Dean Management, MIT ADT University, to kindly come on the stage to felicitate our dignitaries.
We would also like to call upon Adinath sir and Chakradev sir to please join us on the stage.
I would like to call Professor Mrs. Sunita Karar Madam to kindly felicitate Mr. Yesudas, co-founder, YNA Transformation. Mr. Deepu Kaul, Mr. Deepu Kaul. I request Professor Dr. Kishore Rawande sir to kindly felicitate Deepu Kaul. I would request Mangeshkar sir to kindly felicitate Dr. Robert Naismith, co-founder YNA Transformation. Mr. Robert Naismith. Robert Naismith. I would like to call honorable dignitaries to felicitate Dr. Varsha Narayana, gold medalist and LG trophy recipient. Kindly felicitate Megha Vora ma'am, Group CEO, Talent Serve. Megha Vora ma'am, Group CEO, Talent Serve. Now, I would like to call the dignitaries to felicitate Mr. Umesh Durve, CEO, Reliance Jio Infocom. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all the audience, for making this session a wonderful session. Thank you so much. I would like to call Dr. Varsha ma'am to kindly say a few words, few lines she wanted to say. For 2 motivational lines for all our audience.
That's really sweet of you. I think considering ki aaj ka session, what it was on, the 2 lines that are coming in my mind are, maybe you can all sing with me. Okay. अपनी कहानी छोड़ जा. Sing with me. अपनी कहानी छोड़ जा, कुछ तो निशानी छोड़ जा, मौसम बीता जाए, मौसम बीता जाए. Everybody, अपनी कहानी छोड़ जा, कुछ तो निशानी छोड़ जा, मौसम बीता जाए, मौसम बीता जाए, मौसम बीता जाए, मौसम बीता जाए. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.